Welcome back to Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Cary Quashen, along with Scott Quashen and Bob, gentlemen. So here, statistics.
Yeah, they're
even though I really hate listening to
I know,
statistics.
but in a nutshell, you can get it over with.
Yeah.
We're halfway through the year about, and the hospital has treated 50 people for overdoses.
Right.
Everything from heroin and meth, which you expect, but also what's called psilocybin, magic mushrooms, PCP,
Yeah, actually,
which I thought was gone.
No, there's a few of them lately. So
Yeah.
it's been kind of peeking its little head up a little
Yeah,
bit.
well, in the 70s, the PCP was a big thing, you know, and it was, and it was in the inner city mostly, but it was still around, and such a dangerous drug, and LSD overdoses. So that the hospital's treating over 50 so far this year.
And that's, again, LSD, magic mushrooms kind of deal,
Yeah.
opiates.
Yeah,
And we're not even at the alcohol yet, but there you go.
Yeah, oh yeah, I wouldn't even include the opiates. Yeah, and and I said earlier that in 2012 we had the explosion of overdose deaths. We had that we can keep count of, and that's people under the age of 40. We kind of don't keep track. We don't add those that are over the age of 40, and they have to be a Santa Clarita resident.
Right.
Santa Clarita Valley resident. We had 16 in 2012, but the average.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of human beings.
That's more than one a month.
And so a lot of people, and but most of the years it's 5 and 6, and this year we've got. Well, what happens is we monitor the deaths, but we don't count them if you want to call it that, until the coroner tells us what the cause of death is.
Right.
The coroner is the determiner, in fact, through the toxicology and the autopsy of what the cause of death is. And so we've had 3 of those so far.
Three confirmed.
3 confirmed. 2 were straight meth, and 1 was a combination of heroin and meth, which is a very popular.
So 2 were straight meth overdoses.
Yeah.
So and I've been screaming that forever. You can die.
Well, you just blow your heart up.
Shooting speed. Yeah, you do. We were working with a kid. He was 19, crawled into his father's bedroom about 2 years ago, pointing at his heart. Had a full-fledged heart attack.
Yeah.
He survived, but he's got some permanent damage to his heart muscles.
The meth, you know 10 times better than I do, but the meth speeds everything up.
Of course.
And the heroin slows everything down. So I don't know, there's some sort of a...
Yeah, well, your body, your internal
they mix these things.
organs are going crazy.
Yeah,
exactly.
and they mix them for some sort of an effect. What we theorize is that the meth makes the heroin last longer.
Right. Well, that's why they do it.
Yeah. And we've got...
and it keeps you awake. Because if you're shooting a lot of dope, it's kind of like it brings you down. So they want it both ways.
So you got a heroin addict that's walking and talking.
Exactly.
And we've got 5 cases we're waiting for the coroner to come back with the final determiner. So we're on a course that is very
alarming,
striking,
at best.
and could easily catch up to and match the 2012. And there's a lot of different factors. We have Proposition 47 now.
I was going to ask you about that too. Yes.
Which took the authority from the judges and the courts of causing addicts that are arrested over and over again for theft, because every addict is a thief. It's not the poor addict that just got hammered by the cops over and over again just because they're using a little dope. The fact of the matter is that the only way they buy it is by stealing, because they can't hold a job.
Right.
So all the addicts are thieves. That's just about the way it goes down, unless you're a movie star. And then
you're a thief anyways, because you're stealing life. You're stealing years from yourself.
Proposition 47 took the authority from the judges enforcing these our addicts into programs, which really helped us, because it was a lever that they knew that the addicts knew they couldn't avoid.
Right.
That you go in front of the judge, and that judge knows me, and that judge is going to send me to 90 days or even better, a year, into a drug rehabilitation program, which could very easily work.
And save their lives.
Yeah. With Proposition 47, which the citizens voted for, which was supported by the San Francisco DA's office and financially by George Soros, somehow the other side, the district attorneys and the chief of police and everybody, didn't come out with enough or whatever to tell the people don't do this, and it was voted in.
So that means for what somebody would have been given a felony and a reason to go to treatment now is gone. It's not a felony anymore. Yeah. It's more misdemeanor, and there's no reason for them to go to treatment because they're not going to do any time.
It was a system that wasn't broke entirely. Right. And that is that a person that's arrested maybe 5, 6 times for using drugs and stealing goes to prison, you know, and that means they're not in our houses,
right,
in our stores. Well, now they're back out, they've been released, and crime's up, and drug use is up, and things are not good. We're going to have to work harder, is all.
And our death rate is up.
Yeah.
If you take a really hard look at it, we're at 3 now and 5 pending. We're actually on target to do worse than 2012.
Yeah, we're fighting hard to avoid that.
Yeah,
and all the teams are working hard to find the drug dealers, because that's still a felony.
Mm-hmm.
And we might, and they're addicts too. So
right.
If we get them clean, that takes care of one less drug dealer.
Right. And if I was looking at the national statistics today too, worldwide statistics, anyways, 250 million people worldwide are addicted to intravenous drug usage. 250 million people.
What does that do to a society?
Jeez.
You know?
Well, you know what it does. It costs the ER's money. It costs the crime goes way up. I can speak about it for hours.
Yeah.
It's just
And the riots in Baltimore were almost 24 pharmacies were broken into, and the opiate derivative prescription drugs were stolen.
Yep. Yeah. That's what they want. And then we're not, and we haven't touched drunk driving.
No. Yeah.
We haven't even touched
that. We haven't hit that. Well, driving under the influence of drugs it does the same thing as drunk driving.
Exactly. I was putting it in one category, but yes.
Yeah. It kills people, kills children, kills parents, kills innocent people.
Yeah. It's just crazy. And then, I think it's time for a break. What do you think?
Sure.
I was going to mess with him, but I won't. This is Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. We're coming back. Welcome back to Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Cary Quashen, Scott Quashen over there, and Sergeant Bob. Hey. It's a great show today. I mean, there's some really good information that we're giving. And I'm a firm believer that power is knowledge. Or knowledge is power, and we're giving some really good information. And parents, you're the ones listening to this show. Pay attention to what we're saying. Did you hear it? Let me see if I can just go through it real quickly. 50 overdoses so far this year, treated at Henry Mayo.
And survived. Every one of them survived.
And those survived, which is yay. Great, thank God for Henry Mayo.
Yeah.
And the J team.
And the LA County Fire.
And the LA County Fire, yes.
Those guys keep them alive.
Yeah.
You know.
We also have 3 confirmed drug overdoses this year and 5 pending, which we're on target. That's pretty frightening.
Yeah.
And hey, Bob, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
Well, what I'd like to do is, I would consider this successful if we could get any amount of parents were to call the sheriff's station and ask for Detective Velick, Bill Velick, or Sergeant Bob on the J team, so that we could come and talk to their kids and help them with the problem that they have at home, because it's not insurmountable. It can be conquered. It can be beaten. But you can't do it by looking the other way, because it will not go away.
And that's what I hear it all the time from parents. It's a phase. No, phases last maybe a week or 2. But when your kid is continually using drugs, that's not a phase. You better figure it out and do something. And they're not going to stop till they have to.
Now, a lot of the kids, and this is really shocking, they honestly, when we get them at 15 and 16, they admit they've been smoking marijuana for 3 years.
Yeah.
And of course, there's one other key factor, and it's obvious to the parents. Their grades are D's and F's.
Well, there
are no academic cheaters.
Let's just go over marijuana just for a half a minute here. It's got a 7-day half-life, meaning if you take a hit, 7 days, half's gone. The other half stores in your fatty cells, your brain, your heart, your sex organs, everywhere. So that's what I mean. So here's what happens: a little Johnny, 14 years old, starts smoking weed. He starts getting short-term memory loss. Why didn't you do your homework? I forgot. Why didn't you turn in your homework? I forgot. After that, they start losing their motivation. Why don't you want to go to baseball? It's boring. What's wrong with first period? I'm bored.
Yeah.
They start losing their motivation. We can't even pinpoint what it is, but that's what it is.
The kids were in athletics. They were on football. They were on basketball, baseball. And now they just sit at home.
Yeah.
They don't do anything anymore.
Yeah, they lose their motivation. Then it comes to longer-term memory loss and all that other stuff. And what you were talking about earlier, where the brain's not even developed yet, and they're putting that stuff in it.
It's not all the kids' fault. It's nature. Yeah. The kids' brains are not wired tight yet to make a better decision. So the adults have to step up and make a decision for the kids.
Right, and by the way, they have to, because these kids can't do it. But hey, would you want your 16-year or 14-year-old kid drinking 3 shots of tequila and driving down the street? Why is it okay if they smoke 3 bong hits or eat a brownie and do that?
Yeah. Know where your kid's at after 10 o'clock. It's curfew. Curfew violation can cause them to be able to lose the opportunity to get a driver's license. It can cost $400 in juvenile court the first time. The second time it's doubled. Right. So they're due home at 10 o'clock or before, and know where they're at.
And for good reason. You know, this 15, 16-year-old, what are they doing out in the streets at midnight anyways?
Well, the deaths occurring to kids in drunk driving and the driving under the influence occur after 10 o'clock.
Right.
That's why the law is there, to protect them and to give them an opportunity to live, because that's when the deaths occur.
Because that's when people drink and start driving.
Yeah, or use drugs and start driving.
Exactly. So we need our kids home. And by the way, remember what we were saying in the beginning of the show? The average family spends between 2 and 10 minutes with their children. Hey guys, spend time with your kids. Get to know what's going on.
Call the sheriff's department, Santa Clarita, the J team, for help. And it's free.
Detective Bill Velick or Sergeant Bob.
Or Sergeant Bob. That's it.
And that's it. Anything else you want to say before I close this show today?
Keep trying, never give up.
Keep trying. Scott, anything?
Well, before we get off, I just thought it was absolutely shocking that people can overdose from marijuana.
Oh, yeah. It's been going on for a long time, especially now with the new edibles and the potency of that drug. Yeah. It's not the same.
Well, the edibles, they're made with hash. It's not leafy marijuana. It's hash oil, hash butter. That's and hash is 90%
yes.
THC.
Yeah, so yeah, people can definitely overdose from edibles. So, hey, be careful, get some knowledge. Go on the internet and find the right information. If you can't find it, call Action, 800-367-8336, or Sergeant Bob at the Sheriff's Department. Bob, thank you so much for being here. Scott, thanks for filling in. This is Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Till next week.